Hi there, this is David and welcome to our review of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. As many of you may know, I've been a lifelong fan of the Final Fantasy series since playing the first one on the NES when I was 9 years old in the 4th grade. Final Fantasy VII released when I was in high school, and while I did love it and played through it many times, it's not my favorite in the series like it is for so many other people, though it is towards the top. So, I was waiting with bated breath for this remake, and let's just dive right in and see what it's all about. Right from the get-go, you're going to notice the graphics. The game is visually stunning, and the upgraded music tracks and remixes are superb. The Highwind theme is one of my favorites, and I love how it's interspersed throughout. You don't have to wait until you get the airship to hear the theme. I can find no fault with what they did here. The battle system, however, can take some getting used to. Rather than keeping to the traditional turn-based system of the original game, it's now action-based, where you move about the field, dodging and attacking the enemies while slowly filling up your ATB gauge. When it's filled up, you can choose various abilities to use, such as sword techniques, items, spells, or command materia. And each time that you use a specific ability, it costs you 1 gauge, but these fill up quickly just by attacking, so it adds a nice balance to the battle system. Also, while in the original game I found all the characters to be rather cookie-cutter, only truly being differentiated by their limit break and weapon range, here the designers did a good job making everybody feel and play differently. Changing your character actually matters. Aerith and Barret can attack from a distance, her with a magical base staff and Barret with his gun, while Tifa and Cloud are short-range quick fighters. The enemies that you'll encounter will also make you switch up your tactics, as some will be immune to certain types of damage, and others will simply be out of range from Cloud or Tifa. Each character also has a special ability, ranging from doing massive charge damage to switching up your stance, allowing you to focus on staggering the enemy or moving around quicker. Also, powerful limit breaks are back, and thankfully, they're not as abusable as they were the first time around, because you can't save the limit break for a boss fight here. The battle system almost feels like an upgrade to Final Fantasy XIII's, only without switching job classes. Ultimately, I found it to be fast-paced and fun, though I still do wish it was turn-based. However, I couldn't help but make the comparison to the other action-based Final Fantasy XII. Having to stop the combat and issue commands to each character individually seemed to slow it down quite a bit, and I found myself wishing that I could program gambits to each of my party members, or at least give them orders of some kind, something like having Aerith focus on targeting weaknesses with magic, and Barret focusing on enemies that are out of range from Cloud's physical attacks. Maybe they'll change that up in the subsequent parts. All told though, it is a minor gripe, and I did enjoy the battle system that was implemented. Materia returns, and it works the same way as it did in the original. You can equip whoever you want with whatever materia you want, and as you fight battles with the equipped materia, it will level up, allowing you to cast higher level spells, raise your stats, or use better abilities. There's also a new weapon customization system where each weapon that you get can be slowly upgraded with SP. When you have enough points, you can open up the weapon and upgrade attributes such as your HP, MP, attack, or defense for each individual weapon. The webbed system reminded me of the system not only in Final Fantasy XIII, but also in Tales of Xillia. However, I did find myself completely ignoring it and just setting the upgrades to auto because I really didn't feel like stopping the action to micromanage my weapons when the game would just do it for me. Traditional dungeon crawling is back, but I don't know how to feel about it. On one hand, some of the dungeons really do twist and turn, and it's actually kind of refreshing to get lost, considering that so many JRPGs these days just have long corridors that you have to run through. On the other hand, though, and this really annoyed me, as you're battling and exploring, your characters never shut up, which would normally be fine, but in this case, every single time somebody opens up their damn mouth, you slow down to a crawl. You're continually moving at a glacial pace throughout all the dungeons because of your companion's inane comments. Add to the fact that there's already other obstacles to slow you down to a snail's pace, such as fans, balance beams, tight spaces, and ladders every 5 seconds. It can quickly make exploring the longer dungeons quite the chore. And this isn't just a problem in the dungeons either. As you're running or walking around the slums, your guide of the day won't shut up either, so you're just crawling through a lot of the time. All this blabbing on and walking around as slow as molasses made me feel like I was playing an interactive movie rather than a JRPG. At least in the Tales games, you can ignore the skits if you want to, and maybe this is just a problem for me, but I really did just find it to be damned annoying. I just wanted them to shut up so I can do my exploring. Moving on to the towns. Here, at certain points, you'll have access to quests, which I actually found to be pretty fun. Basically, you'll talk to some whiny, needy, annoying NPC, see what their problem is, hear Cloud's snarky remark, followed by either Arieth's or Tifa's, "But we have to help out the poor useless NPCs" speech. Then be on your way, of course, helping them out. These can be ignored if you like, however, completing them all can lead to some nice rewards and even extra cutscenes with your characters. There's some other world-spanning quests, such as defeating a certain amount of monsters, scanning a ton of them too, and collecting the tiny medals of the world, which you spend for rewards just like in the original Dragon Quest IV and V. As you can probably imagine, being a remake split into multiple parts, the designers have the time, space, and scope to really flesh out the story. I don't want to go into too much detail here in an effort to avoid spoilers, but obviously the character interactions are much more developed, and you find yourself becoming fully attached to each and every one of them. But other aspects of the story, such as the Shinra Corporation, the war with Wutai, the Turks, and the rule of the life stream are truly fleshed out here to ensure a living, breathing world. Also, new bits are added in, such as missions with the Avalanche crew, and oddly enough, random Dementors straight out of the Harry Potter novels flying around constantly. And though there are some new bits that I did find to be annoying, of course, the entire experience was well done and enjoyable from beginning to end. Well, that's it for my review of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. How did you feel about the game? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.